Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Timo Trainer. You're currently watching Absolute Beginner Guide for LoL Part 2, the in-game section. Alright. Right now I am going to explain shopping. If any girls viewing it, they'll enjoy this part. Oh, that was a bit sexist. I apologise for that.
We're allowed to be sexist.
No. Right. So, this is the shop. It's actually been changed since Season 2, so I'm a bit new to it myself. Right, this is just recommended items. They've added a lot more in. It depends upon how you want to play it. It has your defensive items and it has your offensive items. There are consumables and just starting items. Okay, most people will start off, like me, with health potions. I buy 3. And I buy boots. This is just the average build. Right. When you click on all items, you have different sections. You have your defense, your attack, your magic, movement, and obviously your consumables. Alright, I start off with the consumables. There are potions, which give you a temporary boost, or temporary boost. And then there are stones, which have charges and you can refill them, things like that. And then there are wards. Wards are invisible units that reveal a wide radius of area. These are temporary, so they last for about 3 minutes. It's very good if you're a support. It stops people from, well, it gives notification when people are ganking or things like that. Alright. But yeah, I started off with some boots and some health potions. Later on, since I am going to build ability power, I'm going to go to the ability power section and build items. Alright, if you look in the right hand side at items, you can actually you can actually look at the top item. This will show you what's in the roots, what it requires to make that top item. If you buy different parts of it, it doesn't cost you any extra, so it's good to buy the parts to it beforehand. And if you buy a single part, which you just want for an early boost in the game, you can actually see what it builds into. If it builds into something good, it might be worth actually building the full item, because obviously you wanted that originally. So, that's a quick description about items. Okay, now it comes to lanes. Right. Well, actually, I'll teach you how to walk first. Walk before you can run. How about that? Firstly, walking is just general right-clicking. That's also for hitting someone, or hitting an enemy, so you right-click it to focus and attack. Or you can just left-click things just to get a summary. Alright, I'm going to be going on to what was called the bottom lane. Lanes have different names. There's this lane here. I'm pointing at it. Bottom lane. This one's the middle lane, and this is the top lane. They are just different because people send different types of champions down different types of lanes. Oh look, there's an enemy here. This guy's an idiot. I hate him. Die. Yes. Right. So each lane is practically the same, and that's all you really need to know about that. Now I'm going to explain minions, how they work. I think every 30 seconds a new group of minions get sent. It's 1 and 2 will have a cannon. Right. These are just basically so people can get gold. That's all they're really used for. And it's just to level up early game. It's just what the game is about. This is what not to do. If you're on low health, it's generally considered a bad idea to chase down an enemy champion, because what they can do is they can turn around and they can kill you. So, the general rule of thumb is just beware. If you're on low health, try and get away rather than try and attack. Okay, I'm going to talk about skills now. You have 4 basic spells. These are just skills per champion. But every champion has a 5th skill. It's a passive. A passive is constantly on. For instance, I'm playing as Teemo. If Teemo stands still for 2 seconds, he becomes stealthed. And after, when I run out of stealth, I get a 40% attack speed bonus. So look, right now, I am unstealthed. Now I will stealth in 2 seconds. Ta-da! Stealth. This is my passive skill. You have 4 spells. These are skills that just come with your champion. They are based on the keys Q, W, E, and R. If you ever forget this, which one they are, it's labelled underneath. Okay, you also have 2 summoner spells. These spells you choose before you go into game. I've chosen Flash and Heal. You'll probably choose something like Ghost and Heal. These have a very high cooldown time, so use them wisely. But again, you can check these, well, what they do before you go into game. Okay. There is one final thing, which is called Recall. Recall takes 8 seconds to cast, and what it does is wherever you are, you teleport back to your main base. You teleport back to the next to the shop. If you are hit during this, so if you are hit during this teleport, it will cancel it. But after the final second of it, no matter what happens, if you're about to teleport, you will not take any damage. Okay, when you level up, you'll gain skill points. As here, I've got 4 skill points available. I'm level 7. Right. It shows how many you've got available here, and well, obviously I can just place them anywhere. So if I want to upgrade blinding my Q, for instance, I'd click that one, move quick for that one, and toxic shot with my E, and finally my ultimate. Your ultimate you only get every 6 levels. So upon your 6th level, you'll be able to upgrade your ultimate. This is always done. Every time you level to 6, you will almost always spend it on your ultimate, unless you accidentally level out of it or click the wrong thing. Your ultimate is generally your champion's most coveted spell. For instance, mine is a mushroom. These act as wards. But if I run away, you can still see around the mushroom. These do AoE damage. My summoner spells are Flash. I press Flash, and it flashes towards my mouse. Press Heal, and it'll heal them. And finally, there's Recall, which you cast it, and you'll recall back to base. During this last second here, you won't take any damage. Right. When you're back in base, this area here heals you and replenishes your mana. Also, if enemies run into this area, they'll have a giant laser fire straight into their face and die almost instantly.
This is what the laser does to your face.
Okay, I'm going to talk about builds now. Builds are items, but the item set that you aim towards by the end of the game. Builds can be found on various websites. For instance, there's Mobafire. This will be linked in the description if you require builds. Okay, a build is just buying items, but you already know what items you're going to buy. For instance, I buy boots, and then I'll buy my Run-On's Hurricane, which I'll buy the parts to before I actually buy. Okay, when you buy a build, when you look at a build website, it'll show you what order to buy your builds in, and it'll generally have a guide about your character itself. Okay, next thing for you to think about are your summary details. Alright, these are just details about your character, and if you click on any character, it'll tell you details about their character. Right. Firstly, you get your attack damage. This is quite obvious. If you buy items, it will increase your attack damage.
Same with ability power. Buy items and increase your ability power. There's attack speed, movement speed, armor, and magic resistance. Armor only affects physical damage, which is obviously attack damage and hits. Magical damage is generally when spells are cast upon you, such as most champion spells, unless they're based upon attack damage, then armor would reduce the damage. In the top right corner, there is a summary. This is for how many kills your team has and how many kills the enemy team has. For instance, my team has 0 kills. The enemy team currently has 1 kill. It means I have died once, meaning they got the kill. Sometimes you can die without them getting a kill, which is a fail. This is just your character's details. You get kills, deaths, assists, and minions. Kills, deaths, and minions are quite self-explanatory. Minion assists work by you doing damage before they die. You get a slight amount of money if you do damage to the champion before they die. In fact, a quick tip, if your whole team attacks one character and that character dies, you get more money as a team in general. So when people say you're kill stealing, it's quite common to reply saying getting more money for the team. Just a quick reply to that. Finally, it shows you how long the game has lasted and the current frame rate, which is how many pictures are being flashed in front of your eyes a second, basically. If you hover above that, it will show you your internet delay. Mine is 31 milliseconds, so that's not very much. Okay, now I'm going to explain what acronyms are. These are just shortened down words in the game, such as someone just said AD. This means attack damage. There are other ones such as AP. This one means ability power. The difference between attack damage and ability power is one is for spells and like mages. The other one is for people that do melee damage. SS. This is quite a one that took me a while to find out when I was playing by myself. SS actually means someone is missing from the lane. If they say SS2, it means there's actually both characters missing from the lane. More often than not, it means that they're coming to attack another lane. But sometimes they'll type SS before it's actually required for, before they actually change lanes. They actually will type re afterwards, which means the person has returned. There's top, which is the top lane. There's mid, which is the middle lane. And there is bot, which is the bottom lane. Pushing is when you're laning and you push as the minions as far back as possible before carrying on with other gameplay. Wards. Wards are items that have a range of visibility around them for 3 minutes. Noob is something that a mean person would call you, implying that you're new to the game and don't know what you're doing. A lot of the time, these are just mean people and you should just ignore it. GG. This means good game. It generally indicates that the person had a good game. GJ. This means good job. Generally, people will say this when you've gotten an impressive kill. Gank. This is important. Ganking is when an enemy team, more than one enemy champion, comes and attacks you whilst you're alone, or whilst there's 2 people. Ganking can be be anything larger than your current group. For instance, if you're playing with 4 champions and they have 5 champions and they come in all at once, that's ganking. If you have 1 champion and they have 2, they come in and try and jump you. This is called ganking. This means defend. This is just because a lot of the time when you're being pushed very hard by the enemy team, you need to make sure that they're not going to get kill too much of your base. I'm going to talk about alerts and pings, or warnings if you will. Okay, is sort of an alert, a warning on a map that someone places, either when they want you to go there, or they're trying to warn you about it. For instance, if you use the alert ping, this is generally an indication that something's going to go on in this area. But they use it. It's used very often if they want you to go there, or they want more help. So for instance, if I put it over a turret, it means I request aid from the turret. The V is, or known as the retreat ping. This is when someone's in trouble, so it signals them to be careful. A lot of the time this is used when they're about to be ganked and other players see people leaving their lane to go to, for instance, top or bottom lane. It can be used in many situations, just falling back from a turret because they know that it's just going to get destroyed soon and you'll get killed. A lot of the time it's used when people are making very bad mistakes in the game and people want to warn you not to do it. Pings are a very good thing to get used to using because they help a lot of players, but don't overuse pings because then people, it's like calling wolf, isn't it? People will stop listening to them. Turrets, you should consider your friends. Look at this ally turret. I'm going to use that as a separate part of it. You're going to have to come close in a second because I'm going to use you for like when I target you near a turret and show that it starts attacking me. Okay?
Okay.
But don't show until I say. Turrets should be, well, enemy turrets should be considered enemies because if you run in first, they'll automatically target you and only stay locked on you, unless minions are around. If minions are around, it will automatically target the minions, except for when it's already focused on you. Another reason why you shouldn't consider enemy targets and enemy turrets your friend is because when enemies are around, or enemy champions are around, it will focus you. Yeah, I need to start again now.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
You kill my minions. Enemy turrets should be considered your enemies. If you're running in first, it will automatically focus you. And if your minions get close, it will not automatically change onto them unless you go out of range. If you're attacking enemy minions, it does not change to focus you. But if you're focusing an enemy champion, it will suddenly change to you and kill you before your minions. For instance, now, I died whilst trying to attack a champion because a turret shot me. The issue with being around a turret is you can be around them for a short amount of time, but they exponentially increase the amount of damage they do to you. So for instance, if it did 100 damage to you the first time, next time it would do 200 damage, and then 300 damage, and then 400 damage. If you continuously get hit by a turret, the exponential increase will eventually start doing a lot of damage per hit. So it's best to avoid attacking enemies around jungling. Jungling is, well, the jungle is a section between two lanes. You see this bit here? This is where the jungle is, because it's just a wooded area. The jungle will have several sets of enemy or neutral creatures. These won't attack you unless you attack them. So a jungler will replace a lane. For instance, usually there'd be 2 people on the bottom, 1 person in the middle, and 2 people on top. But due to the fact that people get, when there are 2 people, it gets split XP. So the jungler will take a hit for the team and go for, well, let the top player, when it changes to one player, to have a slightly more amount of XP. This just increases the overall XP gain for the whole team. So what a jungler will do is they'll attack the creatures to get XP and gold. The amount of XP and gold you get for jungling is actually quite high. Also, creatures like this in the jungle, or the two big creatures, will give you a buff. You see the circle, blue circle ring around it? That's the buff it gives. It gives you the Crest of the Ancient Golem, which increases mana and energy regeneration. Regular jungle creatures don't really give you anything, apart from Wraiths and Golems. These give you a slight health increase temporarily. Well, actually, all of them give you increased health regeneration. Anyway, the other creature that gives you a buff is the Red. This guy gives you a attack damage and speed, a speed increase with a damage over time. That's a flame. There are also two other parts to the jungle. There's the dragon, which is here. This shouldn't really be focused unless you're level 8 or above, preferably with other champions. And there's Baron Nashor. This person is really someone you only focus when you're about level 15 and above. This is Baron Nashor. I would not recommend trying to solo him like I'm about to. A valiant attempt, but no, it did not work. Okay, I'm going to talk about inhibitors and the Nexus. An inhibitor is just a building here that is guarded by turrets until they're all destroyed. When you destroy the inhibitor, it produces super minions. These super minions are temporary until the inhibitor respawns. You have to destroy an inhibitor before you can focus on the inner turrets. Okay, finally, there is the Nexus. This is what you're protecting. If this gets destroyed, you lose the game. It's a super minion. They have extremely large amount of health in comparison to normal minions. This is what happens when someone destroys your Nexus. Oh no. Boom. Sad face. Thank you for watching. Please rate, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time.